Good morning, students. Welcome back to your computer lecture. In this video, we will continue further from where we stopped the last time. So I request all the students to kindly remove their workbook and a pencil. Let us begin. Students, I request you all to open page number 12. We will continue from output devices. In the last video, we learned about the hardware components, the types of hardware, which includes input devices, output devices, secondary storage, and processing devices. So we completed input devices. In this video, we will cover the rest of the topics. So let us quickly proceed. I am sure we all are ready by now. Let us read output devices. An output device is a device that is used to display the result of the processed data. Examples of output devices include monitor, printer, and speaker. So what are output devices? They are the devices which is used to display the result of the processed data. Right? Whatever happened in the background in the computer machine, whatever information that we input using a keyboard, mouse, and various other devices, something is happening in the background, and then the result is displayed on the output devices. Output devices include monitor, printer, speaker, so on and so forth. So let us first understand the monitor. As you all can see in the picture, it looks like a television screen. So let's read. A monitor is an input device that allows you to view the result of the information that was entered by the user and processed by the computer. Monitors are available in different shapes and sizes. So a monitor is classified as a output device which allows you to view the result. Like a television screen, we watch, and we watch the videos, we see the information, we see the images, text on the screen, right? It helps us to remember, or it sharpens our memory. The monitors are available in different shapes and sizes. Here we have an example. In earlier days, we used to have monitors which were known as CRT. CRT stands for cathode ray tube. These monitors were bulky and heavy. Then the CRT monitors were taken over by the flat panel display monitors, which we currently use in today's generation. The flat panels, which are LCD and LED. Now what are the difference? We will understand them in the next chapters or going forward. For now, these are just the monitors. So monitor is an output device, right? Different types of monitors, CRT monitors and flat panel display monitors. Let's continue with the printer. A printer is an output device that is used to get a hard copy of the documents and images stored on a computer. It is connected to the computer externally. So printer again is an output device. It falls under the category of output device, which is used to print the documents or get a hard copy. The printed documents are also known as hard copy, students. I'm sure we all have visited our school office to collect our result or pay fees with our parents. We may have seen this device in the office. This is an example of all-in-one. It is a printer, scanner, and a photocopy machine as well, like a Xerox machine. Like earlier we used to have devices which were only used to print, like dot matrix printer, laser printer, inkjet printer. Then we had a separate device known as scanner, which we learned in the last chapter or last video. Like scanner is an input device which converts the hard copy into soft copy. Printer does the opposite. It converts the soft copy into a hard copy in a printed format. So this is an example of a 3-in-1 printer, which is a printer, scanner and copier. The next output device we are looking at here is the speaker. A speaker is an output device that allows you to listen to music, videos, audio messages, etc. It is connected to the computer externally. Right. Speakers again, it's a output device which is used to hear the sounds. So monitor is used to see or watch. Printer is used to get the hard copy. Speakers used to listen to the sound or hear the sound. That can be of music, videos, audio messages, recordings, etc. Here it is mentioned speakers are connected externally. However, we have speakers that are inbuilt as well. There are two types of speakers, inbuilt speakers and external speakers. External speakers are connected using a wire. Here I would like to show you an example of a 3-in-1, a webcam, microphone and speaker. Webcam is to get the images, microphone is to record or talk, record your voice or talk, speaker is just to listen to the sound. Right? Let's continue further with our secondary storage devices. Now, what are secondary storage devices? Secondary storage devices are the devices that are used to store data such as files, folders and applications. It can be an internal or external device attached to a computer. The data that you store on any storage device remains safe even after you turn off your computer. Examples of secondary storage devices include hard disk, CD and DVD. So secondary storage devices are used to store data. Now, computers may not have sufficient memory or enough memory to store the data. Hence, we require secondary storage devices which can store our data as and when we want, which includes hard disk, CD and DVD. You all have heard this term hard disk, CD and DVD. Right? We will try to look at the features and see how they perform or what are their functionality. Just understand these devices like hard disk, CD and DVD falls under the category of secondary storage devices. Let's continue on page number 13 to understand what a hard disk is. Hard disk. A hard disk is a magnetic storage device that is usually attached internally to a computer. It is placed in the hard disk drive inside the CPU. However, it can also be found in a separate box, which can be externally connected to the CPU. It is used to save large files, which can be in the form of software, music, photos, videos and documents. So what is a hard disk? It's a magnetic storage device or a secondary storage device that is usually attached to the computer. There are two types of hard disk, students. One comes inbuilt, which is attached internally to the central processing unit or the motherboard, and we also have hard disk which can be connected externally. These are known as external hard drives. A hard drive is used to store any amount of data depending upon the size of the particular disk. We can store data in the form of software, music, photos, videos, or any documents. All these data can be stored on a hard disk. Let's see how a hard disk looks. This is the internal structure of a hard disk. You can see it has a rotating disk, then it has a platter, a sector. These are advanced terminology which you will learn in higher standards. This is just an illustration or an example for you to see how a hard disk looks, the internal part of the hard disk. And this is how a hard disk looks with the cover. This is how you will find a hard disk which is attached internally to the computer. It has a drive inside the CPU cabinet or the tower. Now there is a note written here, students. The first hard drive was introduced by IBM on September 13th, 1956. So September 13th, 1956 was the time when the first hard drive was introduced by IBM. What are IBM? IBM is a company which produces computer products or electronic devices. It stands for International Business Machine. Let us continue to see what a CD and DVD is. CD stands for a compact disc and DVD stands for digital versatile disc. They are secondary storage devices that store data using optical storage. These are easily portable as after you save the data, you can remove it from your computer and carry it anywhere you want. Right? CDs and DVDs, we all have heard these terms. We all have seen a CD or a DVD, right? For your reference, this is how a CD and a DVD looks. In the picture you also see there is a third type of disc which is known as Blu-ray disc. This is the advanced disc comparing to the CD or a DVD. On this devices, the data is stored using the laser or the light, which is known as the optical medium. With the help of light or laser, the data is stored on the CDs or DVDs. Now you can easily carry these CDs or DVDs from one place to the other. You just have to remove it from the drive and then put it in the drive which supports this kind of media. So they are called as portable devices. You can carry it anytime, anywhere with you. Next that we are looking at is the processing devices. Under the hardware category, what are processing devices? So processing devices are the devices that take input in the form of data or information, process it and provide the desired output to the user. Examples of processing devices include CPU, motherboard, RAM and ROM. So processing devices are the devices which converts the input taken from the user or the data taken from the user into a desired output. They will perform some instructions or programs in the background with the help of which you get the desired output as per the input that has been entered. What are the examples? CPU, motherboard, RAM and ROM. This is how a CPU looks. Okay, we will read what is a CPU and then we will look at the picture. CPU stands for Central Processing Unit. It also known as microprocessor or the brain of the computer. It is a processing device that controls all the information provided by the internal and external devices to perform certain tasks. It is usually a square or rectangular shaped silicon chip. It is placed in the CPU socket on the motherboard. There are three main components of the CPU, namely memory unit, arithmetic logic unit, and control unit. Okay, to quickly understand what a CPU is, we all know the full form. The CPU stands for Central Processing Unit, which is also known as a microprocessor or the brain of the computer. Now students, as we all know or we have heard, CPU is the Central Processing Unit. So what do you mean by Central Processing Unit? This is the Central Processing Unit and not the black box which we usually see. CPU is the small chip which is like either a square in shape or rectangular shape. It is placed on the socket on the motherboard. So going forward, do not confuse. If anyone asks you what is a CPU, you can say CPU stands for Central Processing Unit, which is a chip placed on the motherboard inside the CPU cabinet or the tower. Just to show you an example, the black box that we see, the black tower, is the place where you see all these ports or all these connectors. So this box is known as the CPU cabinet, and the small chip, is known as the Central Processing Unit. The CPU has three parts: memory unit, ALU, the arithmetic logic unit, and the control unit. Control unit controls all the devices that are connected to the computer. ALU performs the calculations, and the memory unit is to provide memory and as well as store data. In your higher standards, we will learn them in deep. Let us continue further to understand what a motherboard is. Motherboard is a processing device that connects different parts of the computer. It is the main circuit board of a computer that allows different parts of a computer to communicate with each other. Right? So what is a motherboard? It's a processing device that connects different parts of the computer. Now, as the name indicates, motherboard, right? The word mother. Now we all know, guys, the importance of mother, right? Mother holds the entire family, right? Starting from the parents to the husband to the kids, then the relatives, right? A mother needs no introduction or a definition. Similarly, in computer also, a motherboard is a device which connects all the different parts of the computer. It connects it to the one. It keeps connected to the in one form or one platform. And this motherboard, which is a chip or a board which is placed inside the CPU cabinet, which we discussed earlier, what a CPU cabinet is. This is what a CPU cabinet is. You see there are different ports. This is how a motherboard looks like. In the center is the CPU. Then you have all the connectors, the chips, ICs, This is how a motherboard looks. If you read further, a motherboard is placed inside a CPU cabinet. It connects the CPU, memory, optical drive, hard drive, and many other components by using cables. A motherboard mainly consists of the processor chip, memory chips, BIOS, external storage controllers for video and sound, and expansion slots for additional circuits. As the name motherboard, right? The motherboard holds all the components of the computer. And apart from connecting all the other parts, it also has its own parts, which are the processor chip, memory chips, BIOS, which stands for basic input output system, external storage controllers, and expansion slots. Expansion slots are nothing but if you want to increase the graphics or the video resolution. So these kinds of cards are available. The hardware parts, the hardware circuits. Let's turn our page to page number 14 and continue further with the memory. Now, what is a memory? A small chip that is mounted on the motherboard of a computer is called as memory. It consists of random access memory, RAM, and read-only memory, ROM. So memory is a chip mounted on the motherboard. Two types of memory, that's RAM and ROM. So let's understand the two types of memories. RAM. RAM stands for random access memory. It is also called the main memory or the primary storage. It is a read and write memory. In other words, you can use it to store data and information and read the saved data and information. As the word random access memory, students, this memory is used for randomly accessed applications. For example, you may have seen this in your cell phone. The cell phone has 4 GB of RAM or 6 GB of RAM or 8 GB of RAM. Right? So these memories or these type of memories are used when you open any application. Let's say for example you open WhatsApp. So WhatsApp, depending upon the size of the application, it will use certain amount of memory for it to run, which may be like 512 MB or any space depending upon the application size. One another example that I can share about is like a game, like the game of PUBG. Like it is a huge file. So when you open, in order to play this game, you need high amount of RAM because the size of the game is big. It has graphics and various other animations. So you need high amount of memory in order for the game to run. If you have less amount of memory left, then the game will perform slow. You can even face the crashes, like the game crash, or it won't function properly. That is the use of random access memory or the RAM. See in the bus, it's a note written. In case you switch off your computer or there is a power failure, the data and information stored in RAM is completely lost. And these memories are volatile. That means anything that we store on this is only till the time the application is open or it is receiving electricity. As soon as we close the application or there is a failure to provide electricity, whatever work is there on the or whatever application is open is gone. It vanishes. That's why random access memory or RAM memories are known as volatile memory. And the word suggests random. So you randomly, or this memory is available randomly for the applications that a user may want to use. The next is the ROM. ROM stands for read-only memory. As the name suggests, it is a read-only memory. In other words, data stored in ROM can neither be erased nor replaced. Right? Read only. You don't have the right to edit anything on this particular memories. Now, these memories are pre-installed or pre-programmed. A user or the end user does not have the rights or access to erase these memories. They can only read. And also in a cell phone, an example, when you buy a cell phone, you have internal storage. Even in internal storage, few of the space or certain space has been occupied with few data. Those data you cannot erase. You can only view or take access to it. Use those memory. You cannot erase the data or erase that memory. So that is known as the read-only memory. Now all these memory chips are placed on the motherboard. It's mounted on the motherboard. Like if you see, there's a long blue chips or the blue expansion slots. These blue expansion slots are for RAM, where RAM gets attached, and ROMs are the black chips which are attached on the motherboard. A closer look of our RAM looks, and how a ROM looks. Right, student. So with this, we complete our hardware components, and we covered under hardware. We covered what are input devices, what are output devices, secondary storage devices, and processing devices. Input devices are used to input data. Output devices are used to see the result or the output. Secondary storage devices are used to store data the user may want to, and processing device is other devices which processes the information in the background. Now we have an exercise or a practice time which is asking you to state whether true or false. So let's look at it. Output devices allows the user to communicate and enter the data in the computer for processing, displaying, storing and transmitting. Is it true or false, students? Output devices. Which devices allows the user to communicate and enter data for processing, displaying, storing and transmitting? Right, those are input devices. So this statement is wrong, it's false. So write false. Right, let's take a look at the second example. Secondary storage devices serve as an addition to the computer's primary storage. What do you think? We just learned secondary storage devices. Absolutely. It definitely serves as an addition. So write the answer as true. Alright, let us continue further to see what a software is, to understand what a software part is. We looked at the hardware and its components. Now see what a software is. A computer requires a set of instructions to perform a particular function. These set of instructions are called programs. These programs are written to create software and applications stored on your computer. The instructions guide the hardware to complete a particular task. The examples of software on a computer include Adobe Acrobat, Microsoft Office, Internet Explorer, etc. So what a software is, students? Now, every computer requires a set of instructions. It needs a set of instructions or a set of guidelines in order to perform a particular function. Now, these set of instructions are known as programs. You all may have heard this word, program, not the television program talking about, but the program in the computer terminology or in the computer world. Open that program or open this program. Right, so what is this program? It's a set of instructions or a software. That's a particular application has a software which is comprising of the instructions. Now, these programs are written to create software and applications stored on your computer. Right, there are step-by-step instructions written down by the developers. Those are known as the ones who write this coding languages and all this. Those are known as software developers. So these highly trained people, they write the language or the step-by-step instructions using computer languages, and then the software is designed or created with a set of those instructions, and then this software is linked to that particular hardware so that the hardware can do that particular task when the instruction has been passed. The examples given here are Adobe Acrobat, Microsoft Office, Internet Explorer. Right? We all have seen the PDF document. These PDF documents are created with the help of Adobe Acrobat. Microsoft Office needs no introduction. We all have seen Microsoft Word, Microsoft PowerPoint, Microsoft Excel. Internet Explorer. Yes, we all have used Internet Explorer or the other web browser like Google Chrome. Right? So these are all softwares which you cannot physically touch. Hardwares you can physically touch and feel. Softwares you can just see them, you cannot feel them or touch them. It's more or like the external parts of a human body and the internal parts of a human body. We can touch our hands, legs, right? Tongue, mouth, hair. However, we cannot touch our stomach, kidney, heart, right? Which is internal organs. Similarly, hardware and software. Let's continue further. Page number 15. There's a note. The word software was coined by mathematician and statistician John Tukey. The word software was coined by mathematician and statistician John Tukey. He discussed electronic calculators programs in the issue of American Mathematical Monthly in 1958. So John Tukey is the one who came up with the word software in 1958. Continuing further, software can be of two types. System software, it provides the basic functionality to a computer. Application software, it helps you to perform different tasks. Let's take a close look in the picture. Softwares are divided into two parts. system software and application software. As you see students, I have written a note, draw in your notebook. So I request all the students to kindly draw this diagram in your notebook so that it becomes easier to remember the types of software. Remember two types of software, system software and application software. System software includes the operating system, and application software includes internet browser, Microsoft Office, antivirus, games. We need a system software to have an application software. We cannot have application software without the system software. Right? System software is the software of that particular device, how this device needs to function or how this device needs to perform. So that is the software or the programming language designed for that particular device. So system software is the basic functionality of a computer or any other device. And application software are the internet browser, Microsoft Office. Like in your cell phone, we have Android as the system software, and the application software can be Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp. Right? So Android is the system software. Like in computers, we have Windows XP, Windows Vista, right? These are the operating systems, and application software are the programs or the applications that we use. Right? We install applications from Play Store, right? So these are all the application softwares. So let's understand further. System software. The programs that allow you to manage the functions of a computer system are known as system software. A system software comprises of low-level programs that communicate with the computer at the base level. System software usually refers to the programs and files that are available on your computer. It is a type of computer that program allows you to manage computer hardware and software applications. Right? The system software is the core software or the core system software known as the system software. It can comprise of low-level programs that communicate with the computer. What includes in system software is the operating system. Operating system is a system software designed to manage computer hardware, processor and software. It provides a platform for other application software to interact with the hardware to perform tasks. Examples of commonly used operating systems are Microsoft Windows, Linux and Mac OS. OS as a short form for operating system is a system software to design the hardware of that particular device. Like manage the computer hardware, processor and software. All the three applications are controlled by this operating system. It becomes the base, how the hardware needs to communicate, what it needs to process, and also it becomes the base or the platform for other application softwares to be installed. Without the system software or the operating system, it's not possible for a hardware to function or do its functionality. Examples we saw: Microsoft Windows, Linux and Mac. Mac is an operating system for Apple. Like in cell phones, we saw Android. Then the older forms we had Symbian, right? Then different versions of Android we saw, like Jelly Bean, KitKat, various other. So these are all system softwares and operating systems. Let's take a look at the application software. Application software are programs that manage the function of an application. As these programs are designed for end users, they are also called end user programs. Examples of application software are games, Microsoft Office, and Internet browser. As the word application, we all are aware, or we all have heard application, what an application is. Right? In computers, we have Microsoft Office, like various other games, Internet browser. These are all applications that helps a user to perform different tasks according to their functionality as they are designed for. Like Microsoft Office, it contains various other softwares like Microsoft Word, Microsoft PowerPoint, Microsoft Excel. Games, we see various types of games, right? Then we have Internet browser, that Internet Explorer, Internet, Microsoft Edge, Google Chrome, and these are all application softwares. So we all have seen or used some or the other point, or we just need to know what are these known as. So these are known as application or application software. Here is a pictorial or a picture that would help you to understand further what a system software is and what an application software is. So in the picture you see Windows XP, Windows Vista, Windows 7, Linux, Apple, like Mac. These are all system softwares. An application software include an example of Microsoft Office. It's Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Access. And I've taken this example because it's there at the back of your, on page number 16 as a part of your syllabus. So as we move on further, these are the types of software. Now, software can be anything. Software can be a system software or an application software, which can be divided into system and application, or simplified in this way or in this pattern. Alright, so let's continue further on page number 16. Internet browser. Internet browser is an application software that allows you to search for information using the internet. It is used to access and view different websites. Common web browsers that are used to search information using the internet include Microsoft Internet Explorer, Google Chrome, and Mozilla Firefox. Here is an example for you all to understand in a better way, students. We all have seen these icons or these applications, right? Internet Explorer, Google Chrome, Safari, Opera, Mozilla Firefox. So these are all different types of web browsers or internet browsers, we can say. It falls under the category of application software. Right. With the help of these softwares or these programs, we can connect to the internet. Right. Cell phones, mostly we use Google Chrome, Opera. On computers, we again use Internet Explorer and Google Chrome. Another addition is Mozilla Firefox. Safari is a web browser or internet browser for Apple products. These all application software helps us to connect to the internet. They are also known as web browsers or internet browsers. Let's read about Microsoft Office. Microsoft Office is an application software that has many built-in applications such as MS Word, MS Excel, and MS PowerPoint. These applications are also known as desktop applications. Right. Microsoft Office, as it's a product of Microsoft company, and Windows is again an operating system developed by Microsoft. So Microsoft Office becomes an application software which comes built in when you buy a Windows product or a Windows computer. Microsoft Office is available in, or these application softwares are available in the market, which you can buy them separately, or when you buy a new product or a new computer, a genuine product, then we get most of the Microsoft Office applications pre-installed. Hence, these applications are known as desktop applications as well, because they come with the PC. Let's read about Microsoft Word. MS is the short form for Microsoft. MS Word is a word processor that helps you to create and save documents such as letters, brochures, learning activities, tests, and quizzes. And MS Word is a word processor document, or it's a word processor application that helps you to save and create documents. We all have tried this in a practical lab, right? Once a school starts business as usual, once we start taking practical, we can do a hands-on practice, or we will do a hands-on practice on this type of applications. We have Microsoft Word and Excel in your further syllabus, so we will try to cover and learn them in detail. Next is Microsoft Excel. MS Excel is a spreadsheet application that helps you to create charts, tables, and graphs and perform calculations using specific formulas. So Microsoft Excel, you can link this with the maths. It helps us to perform calculations. It has specific formulas, equations, and all this comprises of Microsoft Excel, which is also known as a spreadsheet application. It helps us to create charts, tables, and various other documents that becomes a part of our life. MS PowerPoint. MS PowerPoint is a presentation software that helps you to create presentations by using text, graphics, and multimedia content to make it visually appealing. PowerPoint, it's an application software that gives you the benefit of creating text in the form of graphics or multimedia content. You can flip them, you can use various animations, or you can provide transitions to this PowerPoint slides, and you can make it more visually appealing. As you see the pictures and images, it becomes easier for us to remember. So PowerPoint plays an important role in creating such graphics or documents in an image or the multimedia content. Take a look at the applications provided by Microsoft Office. So Microsoft Office comprises of these all applications: Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, OneNote, Publisher, Access. These are all Microsoft Office applications. Let's quickly take a look at the antivirus. Antivirus is an application software that is used to protect the computer from viruses or malware. It scans the entire system, including the downloaded files from the internet. Some of the common antivirus software include AVG antivirus, Norton antivirus, and McAfee antivirus. So antivirus means protection. The word anti means against. So against the viruses. It protects the computer from getting infected with the viruses or malware. Malware is a type of virus which we will learn in detail in our future classes. Okay. So antivirus software applications or application software helps us to protect the computer from viruses or from the internet threats. Whenever you are on the internet, there are chances of the viruses spreading over to your computer, which may affect your personal files and data. Hence, these softwares helps us to protect from these viruses. Examples are AVG antivirus, right? Norton, which is a product of Symantec. Then we have McAfee, we have Quick Heal, Trend Micro, eScan. These are all examples of antivirus software. So with this, students, we complete our chapter, the explanation part. Coming to the exercise part, here is the answer of your exercise, which should be written down. I have given you an example. I have shown you the example. I request all the students to kindly make a note of these notes. I will upload the notes as well. So until our next lecture, students, thank you very much for your time. Stay healthy and stay safe. Thank you once again. Have a nice day.